Is flattening the curve enough to bring these numbers down? No. We also had to flatten the curve inside our body through utilizing a type of immune cell called natural killer cell. Before that, let us take a look at our immune system. Our immune system has two parts. First, the innate system, which attempts to keep viruses such as SARS-CoV-2 out of our body. Skin, hair, stomach acid are all part of the innate system. Next, we have the adaptive system, which produces antibodies to combat the virus. But this system takes around 7 days to start working. Let's imagine SARS-CoV-2 somehow gets past the innate system and enters our bloodstream. The adaptive system will take another 7 days to produce antibodies. Until then, the virus is free to infect healthy body cells, and those infected cells will replicate. Now, let's look at our body's current model. Just like the healthcare system, our adaptive system has a maximum capacity for how many infected cells it can handle. When the number of infected cells goes above the maximum capacity, our adaptive system goes overdrive and not only attacks the virus, but also damages healthy tissues. This is known as cytokine storms, a deadly immune response that is a common cause of COVID-19 casualties. But our bodies can flatten the curve thanks to natural killer cells. These cells have the ability to identify and kill infected cells in our bloodstream before the adaptive system starts working. So when the adaptive system does start producing antibodies, the number of infected cells will be below its capacity, so no cytokine storms. You might be wondering how these incredible cells work. NK cells have two types of receptors: activating receptors, which bind to the stress markers of a cell, and inhibitor receptors, which bind to a specific protein called MHC1. Think of the activating receptor as the on switch and the inhibitor receptor as the off switch. But for the inhibitor receptor to switch off the NK cell, MHC1 has to bind to it. All nucleated cells produce MHC1 except when they're infected. So what NK cells do is they just patrol around our body binding with body cells. And when they encounter a cell that expresses stress markers but does not express MHC1, the inhibitor receptor cannot turn off the NK cell, so the infected cell will be killed. All of us have NK cells, but I mentioned before, cytokine storms are a common cause of COVID-19 casualties. Why? Because SARS-CoV-2 has a strange ability to reduce natural killer cell numbers. And without natural killer cells, our chances of dying from cytokine storms increases significantly, as seen in COVID-19 death toll. However, we can bring back natural killer cells through a treatment called immunotherapy. Immunotherapy seeks to enhance our immune system by introducing re-engineered immune cells that can withstand the effects of a virus. By introducing functioning NK cells into our body, we can continue to keep the number of infected cells under our adaptive system's capacity, thus preventing deadly cytokine storms. Therefore, accelerating our research on natural killer cell-based immunotherapy is the key to fighting COVID-19 and bringing down these numbers.